On today's City Beat, City Beat hits the street to find out what celebrities you think are the most overrated. We tour one of LA's biggest 3D studios for a first-hand look at 3D movie magic. Over in New York City, Mexican artist Kahlo is gearing up for his latest exhibition.
Welcome to City Beat, where we have the latest in art, culture, entertainment, fashion, and lifestyle. Today, we are going from Shanghai to New York, Melbourne, and Los Angeles to bring you some of the coolest stuff from all over the world. You can also scan our QR code or check our official WeChat account for all your City Beat updates. I'm your host, Wang Ying. People can get pretty crazy when it comes to celebrities, and movie stars, pop stars, and fashion icons command millions of fans. But do they really deserve all the love? Let's hit the streets and find out what celebrities you think are the most overrated.
Hollywood is like the sky. It's filled with many stars. But who do New Yorkers think is most overrated? I'm hitting the streets to find out.
I'm gonna have to go with just Paris Hilton or something like that because they don't really do anything, do they? And they're somehow a star. So
it has to be Kim Kardashian.
I had a feeling that someone was gonna say that today. Why Kim K?
Main reason, she comes on TV, says her name, and underneath it says famous person, period. Not famous for anything. She's got everything a human being could ever want, and she's never had to work hard for it.
It's got to be Eminem. I thought his last album was awful. It's one of the worst things I ever heard. I was very disappointed. I grew up loving him as a kid, so I felt pretty disappointed.
Oh, that's really mean. I don't think I can be that mean. There are those who are known for being famous and aren't known for being actresses. I'll say that group, but I'm not going to mention any names. Initial K.
I don't want to say any names, but I have a problem with people that are stars only because they look good. So, yeah.
There must be people who like them. Yeah. There must be people who like artists who are just silly and, you know, do silly things.
Just because stars are in the spotlight doesn't mean that they earned their title. Many New Yorkers think this way. They think that reality stars like Paris Hilton and Kim Kardashian don't belong in the famous arenas that they're in now. Now, as for me, I think everyone has a place in Hollywood. They get there, they earned it. Reporting from New York, I'm Christy Clemens.
Now, we all love to delve into celebrity culture every now and then and see what they're getting up to, but which A-list stars are we sick of hearing about? Which A-list stars do the people of Melbourne think are just a little bit overrated?
Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian.
Agree. Yeah, definitely Kim Kardashian.
Tom Cruise, yeah, Tom Cruise.
Nicole Kidman, yeah.
The Kim Kardashian, that lady. Oh, without a doubt.
Kim Kardashian. Yeah, just too much publicity about it. No one needs to know about it.
Scarlett Johansson. She sort of does that really dopey face. She's like, just everything's like, why is life that hard when you're that good looking? I just kind of want to slap her.
Paris Hilton. She A-list. She's Z-list now.
Why Kim Kardashian?
I just can't handle it. Whoever makes a selfie book has to be pretty overrated.
I agree on the Kardashians, but maybe also Paris Hilton.
Is there someone you're just sick of seeing or hearing about?
Kardashians? Maybe. In general, all of them.
Why Tom Cruise?
Well,
I mean, he pretty much does the same role every single time, doesn't he? It's the running man. That's all he does. You know, he's always running from someone.
Why Nicole Kidman?
I think she's just a bit flimsy, a bit, you know, just not that A-list. Yeah.
A very clear answer here in Melbourne on who doesn't deserve the fame, and that is Kim Kardashian and her clan. People saying she's overrated, doesn't really have any talent. Closely followed by Paris Hilton, although I'm not really sure if she's A-list anymore. I'm Andrew Moon, reporting for City Beat. Now it's back to Shanghai.
So we do live in a time where everyone wants to be a star. But how people get there do raise a lot of questions with all its talent shows and reality TV shows. So our question for this week's Word on the Street is, who do you think is the most overrated A-list star? Let's go find out.
我就杨幂吧，因为就很多电影里边就角色都差不多，然后有点矫揉造作的感觉，就演技不是很好。我觉得和现在这名气不是很符。
其实我首先可能会想到黄晓明，他在国内的名气是很大的，但是如果真的说想他的代表作品，可能想不出来什么，没有什么给人特别印象深刻的表现。
我觉得是唐嫣，我觉得她演技不是很好，然后她演《何以笙箫默》的那个赵默笙的时候，就感觉跟想象中的原著不是一个样子。
我觉得是范某兵吧，觉得他经常去一些很大的国际电影节去走红毯嘛，但实际上他除了这2年有2部不太受关注的作品之外，又没什么好的电影啊作品出来，所以我觉得他就是一个花瓶吧。
我觉得林志玲她说话的时候比较的怪，然后没有像大家所说的那样性感，我觉得有点名不符实。
我觉得是黄奕，因为当初她演了一部《还珠格格3》，里边演的那个小燕子完全没有当初赵薇演的那个小燕子具有那么的灵动性。十足把小燕子就演成了一种悍妇的感觉，就是一股傻气。
我是歌手中孙楠退赛，没想到他实力这么高，却是可以做出这种事情。我就感觉对于一个偶像来说，德行是非常重要的。
我觉得李敏镐，我没有觉得他有特别帅，就是被大家推到男神呀、帅得不得了呀这种地位、这种高度，就单纯的个人想法。
With so many A-list stars being packaged and marketed, we understand aside from their talents and charm, they're just another human being like everyone else. This is Christine for Shanghai Word on the Street.
Now it's time for a quick break, but when we come back, we'll head to LA for a first-hand look at how 3D tech is changing the way cinema is made. Hollywood is where movie magic happens, and one of the biggest new trends in cinema is, of course, 3D. So today, let's head to LA and tour the 3OT studio for a look at how 3D technology is influencing some of our favorite films.
Reality Technica is a company working hard to make sure it's easy for filmmakers to make 3D movies. Now let's go and check out their spectacular technology and facilities.
Reality was the first company that started this kind of whole 3D movement, and we started back in the year 2000, which was before any televisions, any movie theaters. And the reason was because the advent of digital cinema and digital television meant we can put a 3D picture up. At least that was the idea. So we start, but using the technology that was available at the time would never work for movies or television.
Action. Cut, lovely. Hi, welcome to our new blog. This time, we thought we'd talk a little bit about 3D.
Get a good look at your opening shot. Yeah, okay, there you go. Just arm in a little closer. Just what you think.
You have two cameras, but if they're a little out of alignment, your eyes have to do that to watch the picture. And after 5 minutes of that, you get a headache. If they're a little out of alignment this way, your eyes are trying to do that, and they don't do that very well, and you get a headache. So alignment is one of the most critical things to look at in 3D, and what used to take time was aligning the cameras. So we developed technologies that automated that. There's computer systems that are actually looking at the image, and they're analyzing the image, and they know that this pixel on the left camera goes with this pixel on the right camera, and so they look and say, are they aligned? And if they're not, it changes the camera positions until they are. Are they too far apart? Are they too close together?
Reality Technica has brought together a large number of 3D researchers, a large 3D studio, and R&D facilities to enable them to do their best work.
This is a camera system, actually pretty close to it. The cameras are slightly different, but this is a system very similar to what was used on Transformers, Apes, Hobbit. It looked pretty much like this, except the cameras were different, so instead of this being here, it was a little shorter. And the reason these are on right here is they're up for demo purposes, and thankfully all our cameras are out on movies right now. On that monitor there, if you had glasses on, you'd see 3D. And you could see we have total control over the image, even to the point of making it a flat 2D picture, or making it a 3D picture, and anywhere in between. When we're shooting a movie, we're making these adjustments on the fly in real time.
Domestic audience attendance at 3D cinema has held steady in America, while foreign audiences continue to have enormous appetites for the format. China, in particular, seems to love 3D.
China as a country loves 3D. I mean, that's evident in the movie ticket sales in the theaters, and the fact that so many films released in the United States, even if they're in 2D, they play in 3D in China. So 3D television does seem to be the next logical step in the evolution of the medium. In China, we know there's a large fan base for that. And there's some things that are coming very, very soon. This will make this even more possible. A few years ago, we worked on a film with a great director by the name of Baz Luhrmann. It was called The Great Gatsby, which I understood did fairly well in China. I wouldn't call it, Gatsby was not an action film. Gatsby was a love story. And yet it played so brilliantly in 3D. It was a better movie in 3D than it was in 2D because the director, Baz Luhrmann, used the depth to help tell his story. So really, again, the challenges are not technical. Shooting as fast as 2D is easy. The creative challenges are the ones we need to address.
Today we get to know so much about the Hollywood way of making a 3D movie. Are you also appealed by the huge gear? But that's all for today. I'm Xiaoyun reporting from Los Angeles.
And now let's head to New York City, where Mexican artist Kahlo is sourcing her love for her native country in a unique display of contemporary art set in New York's botanical gardens.
Are you ready to say hola to a great summer? Well, we're giving you a piece of Mexico here in the Big Apple. Let's go check it out.
When people come and say, wait a minute, I am in the Bronx or I'm in Coyoacán, Mexico in Frida's house, like you feel that Mexican vibe and you feel you're in Mexico.
Creativity, nature, and culture are all in bloom at the New York Botanical Gardens' latest exhibit, Frida Kahlo, Art, Garden, Life. The exhibition features a reimagination of her home and garden in Mexico, Casa Azul, along with more than a dozen original works. Audiences are invited to explore how Frida was inspired by her country's botanical treasures and adapted them into her work and home.
She herself was just this celebration of colors and textures and ideas. And I think we wanted to translate that here in the garden.
To bring the essence of Frida and Mexico to New York City, Claudia and her team had to take a trip back to where it all began.
Our team went to the Museo Frida Kahlo, known as La Casa Azul, and we had the opportunity to dig into her archival pictures and to roam around the gardens and to walk around her own house, her lifelong home. So it was amazing to bring that, a piece of that house here to the Bronx.
Taking what Claudia and her team saw in the garden, they decided to take a closer look at her work. And what they found was more than they could have imagined.
Well, it was very interesting because when we take a first look to her self-portraits, we were like, wait a minute, there are a lot of floral imagery here. And then we dug deeper and we found these lesser known still lifes. And we found fruits. And we found plants. And we found the celebration of Mexico's nature.
Just like the exhibit itself is a combination of elements, so is the garden. As seen on the Mexican plant tour, a variety of plants native to, grown in, and culturally significant to Mexico are featured, taking the whole floral experience to the next level.
When visitors come and see the paintings and then come to the conservatory and they can recognize some of the plants that are in the artwork, let's say elephant ear plants. You can find those plants in 2 nudes in a forest, for example, which is one of the paintings we have here. Or philodendrons, you can spot that in one of the paintings as well. So you have like the whole experience combined.
What was the hardest part of putting this entire exhibition together?
The painting in the Casa Azul is made from a really special recipe made of plants. So it was really hard. We compared this painting with many shades, and it was an adventure to find this right blue. So if you go to Mexico, to Coyoacan, to see this blue, you'll find that it's like the same. So when you enter her house in Mexico City, La Casa Azul, you see this beautiful niche wall that says Frida y Diego vivieron en esta casa from 1921 to 1954, which means Diego and Frida lived in this house from 1929 to 1954.
So it's like, here we are. Here is who resides in this garden, not only the people, but the plants, and we're going to go explore the treasures in here. Now, let's do it.
So we not only reimagined her garden from La Casa Azul, Coyoacan, but we also reimagined her studio, which overlooks the garden. So we have many pigments and brushes and lots of colors and books. She loved it. It was her desk, her studio desk was like an exploration itself.
And I could see how she would look to the garden and find gorgeous colors. I mean, it's hard to ignore a deep green or a pop of orange something, and then she took that and put it into her work, and now we see it all around here.
Exactly.
All right, let's go check out more, shall we?
Yes.
No garden is complete without the essential water source. So here we have it. What's going on here, Claudia?
This is a beautiful pond with frogs on it, which is like a celebration of Frida's husband, which she used to call frog or toad or sapo, rana in Spanish. Well, the self-portrait portrait with thorn lace and hummingbird explores that connection of Frida with nature. And here in this painting, we can see many of the plants that can be seen in the conservatory.
There's so much nature around here at the exhibit, but let's take it to the next level and put it on social media. They have a mobile site here that is in conjunction with the exhibit, and it's all about taking a selfie, and then you can use elements that Frida would have used and put it with it. So I'm gonna do it right now. All right, are you ready for this? I think Frida and I would have gotten along famously. We both like flower crowns and selfies, so here we go. So I think I did a pretty good job on this. I'm gonna upload it, and in the meantime, go get some tacos. Thank you. You're welcome. So I've got my tacos here, and I've gotten the full Mexico experience. I took a selfie with Frida and got to see the gorgeous plants. Just goes to show that you can enjoy another culture without leaving the city. Reporting from New York, I'm Christy Clemens.
And now it's time for a quick break, but when we come back, we will check out some of the highlights from Shanghai's first official Comic Con.
Coming up next, with Shanghai welcoming its first official Comic Con, we look back at some of the highlights.
From cosplay, a ton of celebrity appearances, to some of comic books' biggest names. Let's look back at the highlights from Shanghai's first official Comic Con.
Shanghai was recently host to the city's biggest comic event of the year, the first official Shanghai Comic Con. Some of the world's top illustrators, causers, and global superheroes gathered under one roof for one weekend, marking the height of Shanghai comic culture. The two-day event brought out thousands of comic fans, all wearing their favorite costumes and supporting their favorite comic book stars. Let's take a look back at some of the highlights from this year's Shanghai Comic Con. This year's Comic Con was supported by many of the same promoters and organizers of the actual New York Comic Con, bringing a selection of comics, comic book culture, comic creators, voice actors, and of course, lots and lots of cosplay. It was a fun weekend for your inner geek. Despite being in its first year, the event brought out three massive names in television: Hannibal star Mads Mikkelsen, the sexiest man in Denmark.
Hello, Will. Hello, Dr. Lecter.
Alongside Luke Evans, who you might know as Bard the Bowman in the last Hobbit film.
No right to enter that mountain.
Batman's arch-nemesis the Penguin was also out, with actor Robin Lord Taylor from the TV show Gotham. Comic-Con always features some of the biggest names in comic creation. This year we saw two popular artists from both DC and Marvel, with Adi Garnoff, the illustrator behind Iron Man Extremis, and the concept designer of the 2008 Iron Man film.
I really like machines. I like airplanes. I like cars. So I have a real interest in that kind of stuff. So it really helped me with Iron Man, because I decided that Iron Man shouldn't be a man in a suit, but it should be a man in a wearable aircraft. I prefer illustration because in movies you design something, you draw something, and it has to be translated into a 3D model or into a costume. So that illustration that I did doesn't actually, it's not the final product. But when I do illustrations for books or comics, then what I draw is what's published. So my illustration is the final product, which is what I prefer. I think the biggest difference here to any other conventions I've been to is that there are so many more girl fans here than anywhere else, because mostly in America and in Europe, I would say 2/3 of the fans are men, but here it seems to be like 80% girls compared to men, which is, I think that's the biggest difference.
David Finch was also on site, best known as the illustrator for Batman: The Dark Knight and The Uncanny X-Men. His illustration style comes off wild and tough, giving each of his characters his own unique aesthetic touch. Cosplay was another huge component at this year's Comic-Con. Now, if you don't know, cosplay shows a fan's own interpretation of a character using handmade costumes and even a bit of acting to really bring the role to life. This year we had 4 internationally renowned cosplay artists. Among them was Nicole Mary Jean, best known for causing Bane from The Dark Knight. She's made almost 50 costumes over the past 3 years, and today she showed us how to combine our passion for comic books with the art of costume design.
The word cosplay, so many people know it around the world now, and it was before it was like, oh, I cosplay. What is that? Now people know it's something that's more common now. I choose the characters that I'm passionate about, the ones that I love, and I think that's the most important thing, because you'll be happy to finish the costume, and you can show that you're passionate about the character. So I saw Dark Knight Rises, and I love the character of Bane. I love how he was portrayed by Tom Hardy, and I made the costume. Even though I'm a girl, I redesigned it so that I could wear it. It's amazing to see what people use and the art and the creativity. I'd love to see more people cosplay as it gets bigger and bigger.
For the Avengers, life-size armor props including Iron Man helmets, along with action figures and models were all on site. Comic-Con is a truly fun event, and it's awesome to see a world-class event like this come to Shanghai. With a ton of audience involvement, it was an interactive festival for the whole family, and still only in its first year, it brought out some big celebrity appearances, stars from the comic book world, and amazing cosplay. We can only expect that next year will be even bigger. XS, together with the China Children and Teenagers Foundation, recently kicked off the Mobile Safety Classroom project at the Shanghai Meiyuan Primary School, helping kids and their parents to learn more about safety traffic through interactive games. The project's going to cover 43 places, including schools, communities, and gardens, among others, in Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Beijing until October of this year.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's show. But join us next time when we meet some of the judges from the upcoming Shanghai International Film Festival. Also, remember to scan our QR code and check our official WeChat account for all your City Beat updates. I'm your host Wang Ying, and thanks for watching City Beat. Bye for now.
On the next City Beat, we'll meet some of the judges from the upcoming Shanghai International Film Festival. Stay tuned.